Oh, we're live. How is everybody? This is Jonathan Jowen, and joining me is this guy here.
Hey everyone, it's Mike from Mike's Whiskey Review. Good to see everybody back.
And because people asked for it, we are going to do it. We are going to carry over with the best Coke and, well, basically the best Jack and Coke mix, as well as the best smoky Coke, which is Coca-Cola and a good old-fashioned Islay Scotch. So let's see here. I'm going to make them very, very small. This is about a 2-ounce brandy snifter. I'm going to put an ounce of cola, and then half ounce of the product that I'm putting in there. I have 7 bourbons and I have 5 different scotches. I also have a spit bucket, and I also have a bucket of ice so I can add to it, and little notes here and there to get it going and to keep in mind what is happening on which ones that are the best. So what are you going to be drinking tonight?
All right, man. So I'm gonna get a little out of my comfort zone, and I'm gonna try to mix a couple of these with Coke. So I have a Lagavulin 12-year-old and Ardbeg Ugadale, and just to mix it up, I have an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I tried to keep the bourbons under $30, but I also, for the scotches, I'll cover those. I've got Ardbeg, Laphroaig, a Private Barrel of Kilchoman, the Sheridan Bay, and Big Pete for blended from the Douglas Lang, and another blended is the Pete Monster from the Compass Box line. And if I really want to annoy people, I have the 4th best whiskey in the world, which is a 10-year-old, heavily peated Bruichladdich. And so...
Was that a Port Charlotte?
Yes, it is. It's one of those guys. So in the chat right now, we have Jack of All Blades, right now Highland Park, a true classic. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with the control. Going to start with the Jack. And here we go. So this is going to be a half ounce. Probably the most meticulous pours you'll see all night. Now, my Cokes are cold. Can't tell you the last time I had a Jack and Coke. I really can't. At a full ounce. And just because I wish my ice cubes were all the same size, but they are not. So I'm going to let that go right there. And that is, let me take a note here of the Jack and Coke. Now, I got to ask, anybody in the chat, what is your favorite spirit to mix with cola? All right. So there's my notes. Okay. Already getting nice and cold. Kind of seeing a little bit of luging in there. That's very nice. You can see why it's tried and true. Very oak driven. The cinnamon and molasses of the Coke really followed through on it. That's not too bad. Oh, Granddad 114 and Diet Coke. You're not pulling any punches, Jack of All Blades.
I tell you what, though, Jack Daniels is almost, to me, synonymous with Coke. Even when I was young, people would say, have a Jack and Coke. And that, I mean, basically what they're saying is a whiskey and cola, right? So I don't have a ton, but you would figure that those two things go together really well. So anyway, man, I poured a little bit of Coke in here, and I'm actually going to create whiskey sacrilege, and I put a little bit of Lagavulin 12 in here just to kind of be in the theme of what's going on. So, all right, so I'm going to try this Coke and Lagavulin 12, just something smoky to see what we get here.
Okay.
I would not recommend that.
Sorry. Okay. Okay.
You get that Lagavulin smokiness, man, but I got to tell you, that Coke does it no favors.
Okay.
I actually have an Ardbeg Ugadale. I'm gonna try that with it here. So you go second.
Okay, so while this is sitting here melting, I put the ice cube in there. It's becoming more and more caramel. And the cinnamon is becoming more faded. I am kind of getting a very big spike of spicy nutmeg. So from here, I'm going to move that guy. Make sure he's on good and tight. And I'm now going to move on to my next one, which I'm just going to grab the whatever's right. Okay, here we go. Four Roses Yellow Label. As like I said, I tried to keep these all under the $30 price point. So there's not going to be anything. There was one in particular I really wanted to add, but it was $31. So I'm not adding it. So here we go. Half-ounce pour of Yellow Label. And now an ounce of cola. And now I'm going to add in an ice cube. Let me write on here before I forget what this is. Well, this one actually has a nice fizz, and the color is much darker. I wouldn't think there'd be that much difference, but there is. I know this one is melted, but it is darker. It's starting darker. So this is Four Rose. Here we go. Okay, I hate to say this. This smells like Alka-Seltzer.
Ice probably didn't do it a lot of favors.
No, I do not like that. That is incredibly medicinal. Definitely get the Four Roses, but it really tastes like they've put a shot of some kind of doctor medicine in there. Like you remember being a kid and having to take the spoonful of that clear medicine that was so awful. That's what that reminds me of. Four Roses in as a replacement for Jack and Coke is voted off the island. No, I don't like that. I will revisit that. But right now, I got to wash my palate. Yuck.
So one of the commenters, Jack of all Blades, was asking about Game of Thrones. If we can watch it, and if so, what are we going to drink while watching it? So I do watch Game of Thrones.
Okay.
I've seen every episode.
Oh.
This is how I watch it. I hate, after, I don't know if you ever saw a series called Lost before.
Okay, gotcha.
Did you ever watch that show?
Yes,
Lost?
I remember that one.
So every week I'd be on these cliffhangers. So what I do is I have HBO Now as an app, and I'll wait till the season gets like around probably around episode 8, and then I'll catch all the way up and like watch the last episode or two, and that's how I watch Game of Thrones. So no whiskey, no watching on the day it comes out. I heard this season only has 6 episodes. So...
I've heard rumor they are 2 hours long.
No, I think there's 6 episodes. They're all like an hour to an hour and 20 minutes being the longest.
Okay.
So I'm going to let the first 4 episodes build, and then I'll watch the first 4 like back to back to back, and then I'll pick up episode 5 and episode 6.
Okay, for me, it's I stopped after season 1 because I read all the books before they were turned into a TV show. And I kept on hoping that the books would come out before they finished the TV show. And because I don't have HBO or HBO Go, but I would get it. I'm just waiting on the books to come out.
All right. So did you start reading the books before the show ever came out?
Before the TV show came out, I was reading the books. I did not like book 5. It was good. My only complaint, it was very well written. It was just like that thick, and it did not cover 3 characters that I really loved. And in the end of it, Martin actually said, wait, what about this guy and that guy and this guy? Oh, I'm sorry. This book was too long. They'll be come back and visited. So, and then there's like the other is I'm waiting 2 books later to find out a particular word that was said that saved somebody's life. All right, so who we got in chat? We have Thrash Metal, Home and Barbecue Brew. We also have Jeff Knapp. We also have, let's see here, the Mash and Drum. What is up, buddy? As well as Drunken one of my favorite guys out there. So thank you so much for joining all. As you can see, Right now, we are experimenting with a little bit of cola with our sodas. We have Jack and Coke as our control, which is actually really nice. And we tried Four Roses and Coke, which I am not a fan of at all. So the Jack and Coke, that gets better the more the ice melts. This is now becoming very vanilla heavy. That still tastes like medicine. Now it tastes like medicine with diluted cinnamon in there. It is not good. Okay, so what you got now to try there?
All right, man. So first one I tried Lagavulin 12 and Coke. That was not good. This second one is, because again, I was trying to bring some smoky whiskeys to you, and I've never done this before.
I don't blame me either.
So the second one I'm going to try Ardbeg Ugadale with a little bit of Coke to see if there's one with a little bit more sherry cask influence does anything.
Okay. Curious on that one.
Why it's better than the Lagavulin 12-year-old cask strength, still not something I would recommend mixing with a Coke. Maybe with another heavily peated single malt Scotch whiskey, but definitely not with Coke. So I'm 0 for 2 as far as smoky Scotches and Coke.
Okay, so I'm going to go for the McKenna. This is the basic bourbon whiskey, sour mash. Oh, Miss Mo, how you doing? It is officially science. I am going to say that my one complaint is I wish my ice cubes were all the same size. That way I had proper dilution going in there. Now, also, before I forget, next week is going to be very special We Talk Whiskey Wednesday. I have been invited to the unveiling of the Four Gates 11-year-old bourbon, which is out of Louisville. They also are, not only are they 11 years old, they are sherry barreled. It is going to be a little bit earlier. It's probably going to start to air around 7:30. Don't know if it's going to go a full hour. But everybody, I'm going to be advertising it and pushing it because this is something in which I'm really excited about. It's actually being put out by a friend of mine, one of the first guys who ever did a review with me from the Bourbon Guys. And so keep that in mind for next week. All right, so that's a half-ounce bourbon, 1 ounce cola into the McKenna. This is not the 10-year-old small batch bottled and bond. This one is, of course, 80 proof, so it's going to be a little bit thinner. And let me put my ice cube in there. Now, when I did the Four Roses, it smelled like Alka-Seltzer.
Looks like brown Alka-Seltzer. All you need is a little hat.
That's not bad. That is not bad at all. It's on the thin side. A little bit of chocolate. Cinnamon is slightly pronounced as it sits on the palate drying out. The cinnamon does make an appearance. I'm going to come back here and just revisit the Jack and Coke. Much more vanilla on the Jack and Coke. For an alternative, $11. I'm behind this one. So yes, I'm going to put a little star next to him. This is a good alternative. The McKenna for $11. Definitely a great alternative to Jack and Coke. All right, so let's see here. We got you guys snagging the Old Ezra 7-year barrel strength. Some just came out in the Tri-State last week. I have not seen that yet, Jack of all blades. But unfortunately, I'm not, since I spend most of my time in Studio 1A now, I am not fully tied into what is being sold on the for our limited releases as much. When I was on the floor 3 days a week, I had it a little bit better to see what was coming and going. All right. So what you got there? What you trying now?
I'll tell you what, buddy. I'm 0 for 2 as far as smoky bourbons, or excuse me, smoky scotches and Coke. So as I mentioned before, I have an Elijah Craig. I know it's a little bit beyond your $30 range, but at this point, I'm trying to salvage something here.
Okay.
All right, so I threw a little bit in there. Let's see what it tastes like. That's definitely the best of the three by a long margin.
Oh, without a doubt. Elijah Craig is fantastic.
So with Coke, it definitely tones down the oakiness and how strong it is as far as an ABV. But you pick up a lot of the vanilla. I mean, it's almost just like Coke and vanilla with a little bit of alcohol in it. Again, of the three I grabbed here, definitely the best of the three.
All right. I'm going to revisit the Macallan. Now it's had a chance to melt a little bit. Like the Jack and Coke, this one gets better the more it melts. This one, the bourbon is staying very pronounced, and I'm getting that zest of a good bourbon. Orange is starting to come in. Where the Jack and Coke is more vanilla. This is more of one of them for somebody who wants to drink a bourbon and Coke and still taste the bourbon. The Macallan is very nice. I'm going to move on to Gentleman Jack. Now, I kind of cheated because I said under 30, but this one is the 375. So I could have picked out others, but I kind of cheated. So here we go. Let's put in a ½ ounce of this. Oh, and just in case, I got this one autographed. Here we go, ½ ounce. And we are now going to add our ounce of cola. Coming in. Oh, all over my lap. I've been waiting on that one.
Nice pour, man.
Yes. Not my best job. Now an ice cube. Let's get going here for the Gentleman Jack. That is chocolate. A strange medicinal finish that I'm not fully sold on. I'm going to let that one melt just a little bit before, and I'm going to revisit that one. I kind of feel like this one has some potential. This is very medicinal.
Yeah, I almost feel like, just kind of playing around with this a couple times this week. The better the whiskey, the worse it is with any type of mixer.
Gotcha.
It's almost like a more singular noted whiskey, but like a typical Jack Daniels, where you basically just get kind of vanilla and smokiness. That one seems to go better with it than something with a little bit of complexity. I feel like it's too much.
Yeah. I will back you on that. Sometimes the more expensive they are, the worse they kind of mix. So I'm going to come back to this one. Let's see here. Going back. Most of the ice is now gone on the Jack and Coke. That is still very good. The Four Roses. No, thank you. McKenna. There you go. Thank you. And let's see here. All right. So now the Gentleman Jack has a chance.
So you have somebody there handing you napkins even, huh?
No, I don't like that at all. I spit that one. Gentleman Jack does not work very well in this. Let's see here. Went and grabbed an Old Granddad 114, Old Granddad 114 and DC. All right. And my bourbon journey. I do like my bourbon journey. That guy is a cool guy. And let's see here. So, okay. I'm going to move on and I'm going to do a staple of the Party Source. Staple on my channel.
Old Forester, huh?
Oh, yeah.
You tried the 1920 or the 1910?
I am a huge fan of the 1897. The 1920 is very good. Was not the biggest fan of the 1910. Just something about it I did not care for.
The 1920, man, it was almost like chocolate and creme brulee, man. That was a great bottle.
That is actually Marty's favorite of the group. My favorite was the 1897 because it tasted so much like the birthday bourbon. And I just like that rich oak flavor. But Marty was that hard-hitting sweetness. He loved that. Neither one of us really cared much for the 1910. I know a lot of people really like it, but most of what I have learned just by pouring it on the education table is literally split 50-50. It's 50% like it, 50% don't like that 1910.
Well, I tell you what, I definitely prefer the 1920 over the 1910. Now, I haven't had the what did you say, 97?
1897, which is the bottled and bond.
Okay. Haven't tried that one yet, but again, that 1920 is a great bottle of whiskey. I wish I could find one here again. The 1910 isn't bad, but it's interesting to people at the pillage table. They're 50-50 on it. Usually when you're in that kind of a setting, people are pretty appreciative of anything you give them. Or am I wrong in guessing that? Oh,
and people are actually starting to call it the pillage table now. So for all those who've been watching it, you have coined a phrase of it. All right.
That's what it is.
Yep. This is the Old Forester 86 proof, not the bottled and bond. Like I said, these are all whiskeys being under $30. Oh, I like that. I like that one a lot. It hints and just flirts like it easily could become a medicinal flavor. But instead, I am getting soft cinnamon, soft rickhouse and dust and oak. That is a good one. And I'm going back to the McKenna. That is just getting better the more that ice melts. The oak on this is just starting to really snap. Oh, let's see. Oh, hey, we got Redmond Paranormal from Rockhound. Hey, I remember visiting your channel a while back. How you doing, buddy? And let's see, we got Richie Z. How you doing, buddy? We got Jack of All Blades still here. Mike's Whiskey, who's in the chat with me. Richie Z. Let's see here. Greetings, Party Source and Mike, Whiskey friends. I hope all is good with you. And let's see here. Oh, the Libertarian Lieutenant. How's it going, buddy? How you doing? All good today? We're trying experiments with Jack and Coke. So, all right. In a little bit, we are going to be doing some, he's been doing some of the smoky scotches. I'm going to be visiting those in a minute. But right now, I am yes, no, yes, no, yes. And so it is the Star Trek movie thing going on here, only in reverse. The first one was my control, Jack and Coke. My second, which was 4 Roses and Coke. Pass on that. Did not like. The McKenna, not the 10-year-old. The basic $11 McKenna is the best so far. The Old Forester 86 is also incredibly good. And up next, I'm going to be doing the Cooper's Craft. This is the dark horse on the that is of the Party Source. We think this is an unexpected gem. Has been very nice, but in order to make sure everything is fair in the mixing, everything is good, I am doing the half-ounce pour of bourbon, 1 ounce of cola, and then an ice cube.
So I'm unfamiliar with that one, Jay. Tell me a little bit more about that last bourbon.
Okay, so this one is made in Kentucky. It is bottled in Princeton, Minnesota. In a blind flight, it beat out Blanton's. And let me see here. I am also just going to read this here on it. This is a charcoal filtered extra smooth bourbon whiskey small batch. You do get floaties in there. So they are kind of cheating by using the charcoal filtration, but it is incredibly smooth and easy drinking. And I hate to describe things as smooth. I never like to think.
I'm a little unfamiliar with that. As far as the charcoal filtration, what do you mean by they're cheating?
It's what oh goodness, Jack Daniels does is where they will take like the gigantic beams that they're going to turn. They take like wood the size of oh goodness, what is the word? Railroad ties. They stack them into a pile. They put a little bit of White Dog on there, and then they set them on fire. They burn it down into charcoal pile. They rinse all the ash off, and then they strain the bourbon through it. So that is charcoal filtration. So that is where Jack is getting that super mellow, vanilla, easy flavor. Some people would say by charcoal filtering it, it's not bourbon. It's one of those things to where it's kind of a catch-22, and there are hardcore yes and extremely, and I mean extremely, not a chance no's.
So is it looked upon essentially cheating the flavor profile to some degree?
The some, yes, adding a mellowness and taking a step out. The filtration can mellow a harshness in a whiskey. Very, very true. Speaking of floaters, did you try the Blackadder Pete Reek cask yet? No, I wish I had. I've had some of the past, but not the one on our shelf right now. So I'm going for the Cooper's Mark here.
Wow. That's a sneak up on you drunk right there. Okay. The cheaper bourbons are the way to go when you're going to mix with something with Coke.
This guy's actually $24. He's not bad. He's fairly affordable. But honestly, I'm liking that Henry McKenna. There is a strong vanilla that almost becomes medicinal. It flirts, just flirts with becoming medicinal. I would do that, but honestly, the Henry McKenna, the Old Forester, yes, totally. I'm gonna put my stars next to the ones that I like here.
So now the next time you're out at the bar and you order a whiskey and Coke, you know what to ask for.
Oh, without a doubt. And I got one more to try here for the Cokes, and then I'll be done here. Sorry, guys, I went all in on this. You went out really quickly. I'm sorry, man. So my next one is going to be one of my favorite for mixing on a grab and go. $17.92, $30 a bottle. Big fan of this product. In my opinion, this makes the best old fashions, the best, some of the best Manhattans. It is so full flavored, rich. The rye just really spikes in it. One of my favorites, as you can see. So I've never had it as a Coke, Jack and Coke. So here we go. An ounce of that. Probably never seen anybody get so scientific in making a Jack and Coke. How is it going, Rock Gut Review? Good to see you in with us. Have you checked out the Rock Gut Review yet, Mike?
No, I was going to check out him, and I saw a guy earlier. What do you say, Red Man Paranormal? What's his channel about?
His is one of those really cool ones where one of my favorites is this guy just goes to abandoned buildings. Redman Paranormal is the guy. He goes in and he does a let me pull up his channel here. He goes in and he explores different areas, and such as like on here, he's got Jason Jonathan talking to my son. Let's see here. Ghost Caught on Video, The Outsiders exploration. He goes into buildings and he explores old legends. He doesn't have many videos, but it's kind of that ghost hunter thing that was really popular a couple of years ago, but yet on YouTube format. It's a fun one. I have my favorites. They are kind of a guilty pleasure. Ghost Hunter, EVPs. There we go. So yeah, I do enjoy his channel and others. I am a sucker for any of those abandoned buildings because I grew up in deep East Texas. And so I would just go trekking through the woods and I would just find like an abandoned house, barn, or whatever. And you would find like the animals living in there. And also my other guilty pleasure is I am a huge urban legend fan. When I go to areas, I like to find local books about the local urban legends. And I could chew your ear off on that. That would be just a fun chat just to get going.
No, I'll definitely check out Red Man's channel.
Yeah, if you're into that. Okay, so anyway, 1792. Here we go. This one is the one I'm most looking forward to. Oh, wow. Does have a medicinal quality, but it is a cinnamon shortbread cookie with a molasses covering. This is very good, but I still think the McKenna is the best. The more that melts, the more oak driven it becomes, more dank oak, very, very good. The Old Forester is becoming more and more soft, more vanilla, and almost like a cream, we'll say, very creamy. The Cooper is also offering a lot of oak, but more vanilla and pepper. Jack and Coke, I think, is still the best one. And I'm going to go to the ones I did not like. The Four Roses. No, not a chance. And the Gentleman Jack. Still going to spit that one. That is not good. That is, the more it's melting, the more water it's becoming. And now it just tastes like a stale booze and watered Coke. All right. So that is the Coke lineup. And I have 6 more to do for the, oh, I'm sorry, 5 more to do for the Scotch and for the smoky Scotches, guys.
So in conclusion, it's just as the name says, Jack and Coke is the best one.
Jack and Coke is the best. If you want to go a little bit more hard hitter, $17.92. However, that Henry McKenna, that is good. I'm sorry, this is just the McKenna. This is an $11 McKenna over the counter. Not that 10-year hard to find good stuff, but no, this is a good one. I am a fan of that Henry McKenna. I'm going to totally pass on the Four Roses and Gentleman Jack and dump those out. If I had to rank them, I think that's going to be really hard to do. But I will say, definitely Jack and Coke, then the Henry McKenna, $17.92 Cooper, then Old Forester. There we go.
See, it wasn't hard.
Nope, not at all. Let's see here. $17.92 Foolproof Single Barrel or BIB. I love those. We have a private barrel of the BIB coming. And I am looking forward to that. I did not get a chance to try that one, but I was there to pick that one, but we do have the also Cask Strength coming in. The Foolproof, and let's see here. And they were just amazing. Craft Beer Pours, what is up, my good friend? How are you doing? If you are in for some good beer reviews, guys, check out Craft Beer Pours. That channel is amazing. His channel is really good. He was labeled as like one of the top 10 best beer reviewers on YouTube. Great channel. Really, really good stuff. His reviews are simple, no jargon, easy, and great watches. So there you go. It's time, J.O. All right. Laphroaig 10 and Diet Coke. All right, hang on. I'm going to clean up a little bit, and I will move over to the others, which will be the smoky Scotches.
Ah, I should have grabbed a Laphroaig. That would have been another one to try.
I got one right here. You want to join me on that?
I got to say, man, no, I don't have the Laphroaig. I have a
you don't? Okay, I'm sorry.
I tell you what, that would probably be my last and best guess for a Scotch that would be decent.
All right. So, what do I have? I am going to start. Oh, boy. I'm going to start with the blended ones. I'm going to start with the Peat Monster from Compass Box. So, here we go. Going to do it like I did the others, ½ ounce to 1 ounce. Now, unfortunately, I have never tried any of these, so it is going to be absolutely no control for me. God, that smells wonderful. Peat is just one of my favorite things because it is just so rich and zesty and a delight to the senses when you take a whiff of it. All right, so here we go. And thank you very much, Craft Beer Pours. I hope that you guys get picked up soon. I don't know why they are ignoring you so. So that is a ½ ounce to 1 ounce. Drop in my ice cube. I'm going to write my notes in there real quick. That is Peat Monster. Okay, and for those of you in the chat who may not have heard it, next week I am going to be doing for the 4 Gates. It is going to be a little bit earlier, but we are going to be it's going to be an interesting live stream because I'm going to be at their unveiling party. I don't know anything about it other than the fact that it's an 11-year-old bourbon that is finished in a sherry barrel. I will be dropping little things about it online. Oh, wow.
I remember my first drink.
Oh, that is like licking dank ashes drizzled in molasses. Oh my god! It's blossoming on the palate. I mean, I don't know if I like it or not. I think my palate's like, oh, this is unique, but oh my god, what are you doing?
I've had a lot of unique things. I tell you what, man, I had never before tonight tried a Coke and an Islay or smoky whiskey together. Wow, that was not good. Not good.
Oh. Just watching and work. Okay, just watching and working. Okay. Oh man, the molasses makes an appearance. I just kind of want to keep sipping it. So let me give a JO breakdown here. Dank oak, molasses, cinnamon, ash, dank ash, burnt caramel, more ash, char and ash, dryness on the palate, sweet molasses that is now drying. I can see why people like this. I don't, by God, I straight up, that is not for everybody. Okay. It's very interesting. Okay, I'm now going to go to, I'm going to do a Laphroaig.
What are you going with, the 10?
I'm going with the 10, yeah. I'm going to do a Laphroaig 10. As medicinal as this stuff is, I'm really curious to see how this is going to blend with the Coke. I can see people out on the internet now throwing things at their screens, just like, you don't do that. Well, that's why we're doing this, is so you guys don't have to.
That's right. If you didn't ask me to do it, there's no way I would ever put Coke in.
Yeah, I mean, people asked us to do this, and we keep our fans happy. Okay. Here we go. Let that one sit just a moment. Let's see here. Oh, hey, Giselle. How you doing, man? I'm Macallan 21 and Coke. I don't know if I could do that. Now, just to annoy somebody, I did do an 18-year-old Dalmore and Coke, which was very grotesque.
Oh, you can't waste the Mac 21 Fine Oak on Coke. Man, that thing is a tropical mango masterpiece with a little bit of vanilla.
Okay, I kind of like that. In an esoteric mood, I don't think I would ever want to drink one of them or even order one, but tasting it, it is like the top part of a creme brulee. And I love creme brulee. The torch of a creme brulee where they have just, man. Creme brulee is that vanilla pudding, and then they torch the top of it, and when you break off that piece of that torch sugar and you pop it in your mouth, you get the bride of the caramel, then you get the caramel, the sweetness of the, just slight sweetness of the pudding, and then all the ash and char.
You got
That's what that reminds me of. Sorry, go ahead.
You said you got pudding sweetness out of that?
Just a little bit. Just a hint of like vanilla. Just a hint of like, the essence of the vanilla as it has been sucked into the sugar that has been charred. It's very caramel driven, very ashy, very charring. Again, I don't think I would ever order one or make one ever again. But it's one of those ones that's like, yeah, I'm glad I tried it. Try it as an experiment. And it's laughing your butt off. Okay. I got my mom to try the Laphroaig Diet Coke. She did a taste of the ash now. Fireplace liquid. Okay. She did it and tastes like the ashes out of a fireplace liquefied. I can totally understand that. I don't know where craft beer went. Sometimes he drops in and then jumps out. His wife is definitely one of my moderators. She does a lot for us. I love them. Those guys are good. So hopefully I will be late this summer dropping in to see them, and we're planning to do the live stream to end all live streams, which is where we're hopefully going to meet with a couple of other YouTubers. We're just going to hang out, and all of us are going to live stream at once. So I'm going to make it go a little bit lighter. And I am going to go for Douglas Lang's Big Pete. This is ash in a bottle. Okay. And Mike's Whiskey Reviews. You tried the Macallan 21?
Oh, I'm talking with
oh, yeah, I know, but I was asking you. You have tried it, I know. You like
I bought 2 of them from you guys there at the Party Source.
Yeah,
unfortunately, they don't make it anymore, and you guys were all sold out, but I always loved that whiskey, and still do. I have one in an open bottle. I'm trying to save it. It's a summertime whiskey.
Yeah. The one I've been nursing is my Anno. I don't want that one to go away. I absolutely love that one. Okay. Here we go. All right, so that's the Douglas Lang. Big Pete. Big Pete. And I don't know if those of you who have tried it, that is one of them that is a slow burn on the palate. The more you sip it, the more the ash starts to appear. It's very soft, but deceptive. And it definitely lives up to its title. It's a slow burner there. And let's see here what we got. Best part of Anno is you can just buy another one at a fair price. So very, very true. Okay, here we go. Big Pete. Smells like a nut bar. That's weird. That is just weird. I wouldn't never have thought that.
Nut bar, you say?
Nut bar. You know, like an almond nut bar that's held together with the molasses or caramel. All that is a Coke, but nutty. That is crazy nutty. Molasses, very, very thin, nutty. Now ash is just starting to slow up, and it's becoming very, very bitter. Oh, wow. That is like I am just put a chunk of charcoal in my mouth, and I've started sucking on it. That is weird. Huh. It's weird. I got to try it again. Okay. I'm going to come back and revisit that one. For whiskey and Coke, yeah. I wanted to use smaller ones because if I use too big, I'd be afraid I'd drink them all. It does sound gross, but if you are a unique drinker and you don't mind trying different things. Okay, I do like the Laphroaig and Coke. The Peat Monster is just very, very caramel heavy. Now I'm going to go for the Kilchoman. This is Beauty in a Bottle. This is our private barrel. You tried this one, right?
I have.
Yeah, well, you want to give a flavor breakdown on it?
On the Kilchoman?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've tried all of them. Which one's that one?
Our private barrel, Monsieur Bay.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I have not had that one. I thought it was just a normal Monsieur Bay, but I haven't had the private label yet. When I come down on the 23rd, man, I'll be happy to taste it on the pillage table.
I don't have any Whistler around with me right now, but I do downstairs on what are you calling it? The pillage table?
Pillage table, man. That's what it is.
I was telling them people have started calling it that because of you.
I love it.
Yeah, that one, honestly, with the chocolate notes on that, I think you're making a good call there to show, but I think that'd be really good. Mike needs to try a Laphroaig and Coke. I think you did that earlier.
No, I didn't try Laphroaig and Coke. All right, hold on a second. I'll be back. Let me grab it.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and while you're doing that, I'll do this private barrel of the Kilchoman or Kilchoman. Let's see here. I prefer Zinfandel. I'm weird, I guess. No, Zinfandel is actually pretty good. I like a good Zin. And let's see here. Regular Mock Bay, a bit drier with some dark fruits. Touch more oak, very, very true. Mix is nice.
All right, Jo. I have 2 Laphroaigs open, so let's ask everyone which one they'd rather see me mix with the Coke.
Okay, let's see here.
I have an open bottle of the 18.
Oh, gosh.
It's about right here. Or I can do, the other one I have is this 25-year-old.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm not going to chime in. Guys, that is up to you. Oh, goodness. Go for the 18.
Which one of these you want to see me ruin?
Let's see. Oh, clearly the Elite 18. 18 is Jack of all blades is saying, as well as DeShilva. And while you're getting that ready, looks like you're doing the 18. I'm going to go ahead and tell you about the Michelle Bay here.
Wait a second. Jeff Knapp. Yeah, 25, right, man?
And send me the 25 in an example.
I cannot put Coke in that 25-year-old whiskey. If you guys say voted 25, I'll let you on secret. I was going 18 anyway. That's as much as I'm going to give down.
All right. While you're making it, here we go with Michelle Bay here. Man, that smells like burnt apricots in a tort. Oh, now I like that. I like that. That is fruity. That is ashy. A little bit of char. It reminds me of a fruit tort where the top of it has the burnt sugar on top of it. That one is one of them I would make at home just to taste and enjoy. I can see why the fan base does these. But again, this is not for everybody. Okay, go ahead, buddy.
All right, man. So I put a little bit in here. Now, I will say this. Of the three between the Ardbeg Ugadale, the Laphroaig, the Lagavulin 12 cask strength, and this Laphroaig 18, the Laphroaig smells the best. So I'll give it a little sip. Apparently, I've had too many drinks because that doesn't taste awful.
It doesn't taste awful?
It doesn't taste awful. So you still get like that medicinal smoke with just like a little ridge of candied vanilla to kind of round it out. Again, you have Laphroaig 18, I wouldn't recommend it, but between that and the Ugadale and the 12-year-old Lagavulin, by far the best of the three.
Okay.
Again, not a recommendation. I'm just saying.
You got me wanting to try that one. Okay, so Jack of all blades says the peat dies down too much with that age. I'd like to try the Blackadder Peat Reed Raw Cask and Diet Coke, but even if it is blasphemy. Redman Paranormal and the Rockhound says, I used to be a Jack and Coke guy, but my stomach paid the price. I know that feeling. And then the key to a good mixed drink is good whiskey. So true. So true. But okay, this Miss Sharon Bay, I like that. And I'm going to go for my last one of the night. And we'll have 10 minutes to spare with my favorite peat one on the market, good old Ardbeg. Man, this is just getting better the more that ice melts in there. So we're going to do a 1/2 to 1 as normal with all the others with a small ice cube in there. And while I got everybody in the chat, what is everybody's favorite peat monster out there? Dark Arts and Coke. I got to try the Dark Art at the Chicago Whiskey Festival. So look for our Chicago Whiskey Festival videos. I'm posting those up Friday. I edited them into a kind of a vlog style. I took 50 different videos and reviews while I was there, compiled them into something sensible of a bit of a story to about 12 minutes. It was almost like 8 hours of footage, but it was best I could do. Got some of the best highlights and some of the really cool things. I did not cover any of the food, but there's like Nika from the Barrel review. There's a Black Art. My favorite of the night was, without a doubt, was this Japanese whiskey. I did not get a full review of it, so I did not post that. But I did run into the Juvenile from the Compass box, which just blew my world.
So a couple things here. D2 was saying, should I pour a dark Art 4.1? I assume he means Black Art from Brookladdy. And that's weird because isn't that the bottle I had you put that for me, the 4.1?
Yes. That's the one I got to try. That's the one I got to try at the Chicago Whiskey Fest.
Oh yeah, that's a good one, man. That's the 23-year-old 1990, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, that's the one that you went ahead and you bought one of those and you have it sitting aside here to pick up at the party source. That's the beauty, is you can buy all this stuff. If you see something you want and you have a chance to pick it up, You can buy it online, and then you can say when you're going to pick it up. Okay, so here we go. This is the Ardbeg 10-year-old. I don't know. That is rich, complex. Mike wants you to pick up bottles for him.
Just give me the chance.
Okay, this one with the Ardbeg has a wonderful char, but it's like a lot of dank driftwood. I don't know if I'm helping much with that, but you get when wood has been sitting in the ocean for a long time, it gets very spongy and yet gets very saturated with the salts. That's what this reminds me of on the start, then goes into a hint of caramel, then kind of a very nice campfire and caramel really starts to show up. Okay, so Mr. Bill says Balvenie Peat Week, vintage 2003. That is an excellent choice right there.
You know, I've never had a Peat Week.
You have missed out there, my friend. That's
well,
when you feel like
there's still a place I can go by a little bit. Hear my theory out on this. And for anyone who's had the two, I would love an opinion from someone in the audience, if possible. I tried the Balvenie 17-year-old peated cask, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. Balvenie did all of these 17-year-olds: a Madeira cask, a sherry, an islay cask, a sherry cask, a peated cask. There was a couple of other ones I can't remember all off the top of my head. But I tried that peated cask, and I was not impressed with that. Really, it's the only Balvenie I haven't appreciated on some level. I'd like to hear if anyone else has ever tried that one. And J.O., have you?
No, I haven't. I'm sorry.
So when I saw the Peat Week come out, and I know it's peated whiskey as opposed to the 17-year-old peated cask was not peated whiskey. They just put it into a peated barrel. So I know it was a little bit different. So the Peat Week may be a little better. But tell me, what did you like about the Peat Week?
What did I like about it? It's better to say what did I not like about it.
There you go.
Because honestly, it was just one of those ones when I tasted it, I'm like, this is really, really good. It was so well made. It's been a long time since I've had it. I just remember when I tasted it, I was like, oh gosh, this is good. My notebook is on the other side of the room, so I can't give you a full breakdown on it. Oh, we got Rory in the house. Hey, buddy, late to the party tonight, but I'm here. It's good to have you. Thank you so much. Rory is one of our cigar guys who likes to tune in on our cigar live streams that happen on Tuesday night at, let's see here, what are they? 5:30 to 6:30 Eastern. So definitely another fun channel to check out. If you want to get into the cigar scene, he's kind of like, I want to say, the heart of the cigar community of some of the guys that I've been talking with.
All right, man, so let me address a commenter. D2. You said the 17 wasn't peated. I understand that. I know it was a peated cask. But you were really impressed with the 14-year-old, which is heavily peated. So do you know what the ppm level was on that 14-year-old? And if you can, man, let me know a little bit about what you think of it. Because I can pick it up here locally still for around $100. But that's not a cheap bottle. Not that I won't buy it. I'm just saying, is it really worth $100? Talk to me. And you can talk to me too, J.O.
Okay, you bet I will. So I poured out all those drinks. That was kind of painful. I really wanted to enjoy them. But as you saw how much I've had, at least 1 to 2 sips from each of those. That's 12 different drinks I've had tonight. Just kind of enjoying them. Crown Royal and Royal Crown. All right, let's see here. I had 5 bottles of the 2000. Nice. 2003. Nice.
Wow, D2. That's commitment right there, my friend. That's not a cheap bottle. D2, if you can, tell me what you think as far as the 17-year-old peated cask. Did you like it? Have you tried it? Details.
Okay. I am going to ask this as a chat. Let's see here. We kind of covered what the best Jack and Coke alternative mixed was, as well as then we rolled in the scotches where we did the best smoky scotch while we're waiting on that answer. What I wanted to ask is, what is everybody's favorite Speyside? I had a 22-year-old Springbank Gordon MacPhail release that was out of this world. Okay, and I think you got your answer.
Yep.
Here you go.
Yeah, I haven't had 17 again. Yeah, but no, yeah, I get it, man. The Peated Cask is something that 14. I have the 14-year-old Peat Week. I can definitely get my hands on that. I've been debating it for a while. There's really no reason for me not to get it. I'll definitely grab that one, pick it up, and review it, see what people think. Also, man, I wanted to chime in when you were talking about Japanese whiskeys. I had recently tried a 12-year-old Japanese whiskey. It's from Centauri. I want to say he's... Oh, I am going to mess up the name. It's not Yamazaki, and it wasn't... oh, shoot, what was it?
While you're looking, I'm going to check my phone. I'm going to look at the name of the one that I tried out there.
Yeah, give it to me.
See if that's the one that we did. That we...
yeah, again, I can't remember. I know it was a 12-year-old whiskey, Hakashu, I want to say, or something along those lines. It came in a green bottle, so I had it for the first time, and it was someone else's bottle, so I didn't get a chance to really read it and do any research on it. But it was from the Centauri, was the distillery Beam bought. And I tell you what, that 12-year-old was incredible, especially in the springtime, because it was a lot of like pine and grass, with a little bit of that just nice, almost what's similar to kind of a Yamazaki 12-year-old smoothness to it. But I tell you what, the Speyside is a good question. So let me ask you this, J.O.
Go ahead.
Speyside to me means two things. One, a lot of the really heavy, big sherry monsters are all in Speyside. Macallan, Aberlour, Glendronach, Glenfarclas. So when I think Speyside, I think there's heavily sherried Speysides, and then there's the nice overall Speysides, like say Balvenie.
All right.
But there are a ton of excellent distilleries in Speyside. Just to hit some of my favorites, I love the Balvenie, the 30-year-old, the Ton series, the 25, the 21, the 17. They're all incredible. Macallan obviously makes great whiskeys, especially the 18 years and older whiskeys. And, man, Glenfarclas, I've always really liked those whiskeys, especially for the price point. And if you can ever get your hands on any of the Family Cask series, man, those are incredible whiskeys.
Okay.
So when you say Speyside, it's hard.
It really is. Mr. Bill is saying Haikushu. D2 is saying Hibiki. I'm going to adopt that myself, D2, rather than trying to say the Shilvatu. And let's see here.
Mr. Bill's right. It's the Akashu. That's
okay.
what it was. Man, that was an excellent whiskey.
I did get to try some Hibiki 17 while I was there.
And
that was wonderful. Absolutely beautiful. And okay. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to see about wrapping up because it is after 9 o'clock, guys. So, yeah, I know time flew this time. We had a good time today.
For sure, every time. Hey, there was one question. Jacob asked, what's the difference between whiskey and bourbon, or bourbon and whiskey? It's all about the percentages. I'll let you take that question, J.O., but correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe so Scotch is made from single malts. Single malt Scotch. So it's made from single malt, where whiskey in America is made from corn.
Correct.
Sometimes rye, single malted barley, excuse me, that's the term I was looking for, as well as rye and as well as wheats. So correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't a bourbon just 51% corn along with the mixes of the other to some degree?
There are the 8 rules a bourbon has to have to follow. Yes. So in order to be a bourbon, let me just start with this by saying whiskey is an umbrella. Underneath that whiskey umbrella is Canadian, Irish, Scotch, bourbon, and anything else that flies the whiskey flag is underneath there. Bourbon has to follow 8 rules. The biggest one being 51% corn. The other that is really big is a freshly charred virgin oak barrel and limestone filtered water. So whenever you have those items in there and then the other 5, you are having bourbon. Bourbon to me is a much thicker, sweeter, heavier, hard-hitting palate, where Scotch is a more mellowed, traditional, easy drinker, to where, for me, mentally, when I taste a bourbon, I get mental images of bright, hot summer days. And when I am drinking Scotch, I am getting light, cool, drizzly fall days.
Buddy, you have to come visit me here in Columbus. I'm going to give you some scotches that'll blow you out the water. But
gotcha.
I do agree that bourbons taste very, very sweet to me. And, you know, and I always say this, if anyone is a big fan of bourbon and likes the sweetness and wants to try a scotch, try a heavily sherried scotch. You will like heavily sherried scotches. The sweetness is similar.
Yes. Okay, so Jack of all trades is saying bourbon, 51% corn and virgin oak. Very true. Whiskey is very varied. That is also very true. J.O., I'm going to be visiting the TPS soon. What days, Mr. Bill? I would love to know, and I'll make sure I'm on the floor to meet you. Let's see here. Jack of all blades. I don't think bourbon is necessarily needs limestone filtration, water by law. Right, J.O.? I thought that was one of the ones. If I am wrong, please forgive me. But one of my do believe is it did have to be limestone filtered water.
And is it another thing? It has to at least be aged 2 years.
There is that, but then there is also the second it hits the oak, it can become labeled as a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. This is one of some of those laws to where I hate to say this, I'm not the best versed. I really should get better at it, especially if I'm going to be doing these more and more. And this is now recorded for the world to see.
All right, JL. So let me throw something else at you. How long does a Scotch have to be aged?
How long does a Scotch have to be aged? Isn't it a minimal of 8?
3, my friend.
3. Okay, you're kind of cut off there.
Yeah,
3,
no problem.
Yeah, 3 is. I've seen so many unaged Scotches, such as the Glenlivet Founders. Now is starting to show up, and that is an unspecified age. Oh, there we go. Jack of all blades answered that for me. You know, I don't think anybody has ever asked me that question. You were the first person in the world to ask me that. What's that?
I said Jack of all blades has been all over it a few times. Yeah, he's absolutely right. It's 3 years, and I like his earlier comment where he said whiskey is very varied. Absolutely good wordplay right there, my friend.
Definitely. Corn whiskey under $10. Let's see here. If you like the sweetness. Corn whiskey is quite unique. You would think with 100% corn whiskey, it starts to get pasty, but it does not. It is actually really quite nice. And I love how you just get the variants. Like when it's a high wheat, it can be sweet or it can be dusty. Rye are the same way. Some rye I've had are just like stepping into a sealed root cellar, and then when you open the door, that stirring of the dust and breathing in through your mouth. I've had rye that are actually sweet caramel. It is such a beautiful experience. Whiskey Quest. Sorry you're late. How's it going? Whiskey Quest, we just tested the best bourbons out there to mix with Jack and Coke. And spoiler alert, this was my favorite. That was very good. And then we did a sacrilege where we mixed Scotch and we put them all up there.
Yes, I might be excommunicated from the Scotch community for even trying, but for the sake of your show, I didn't mind giving it a shot.
Okay, so the mellow corn and mellow yellow. Okay. Jack of all blades, I will try that. And why in the world the internet decided to flag that, I don't know. YouTube tried to flag J.O. Try mellow yellow cocktail, mellow corn, and mellow yellow. LMAO, the creation of my own. I'm not sure why they flagged that, but maybe they don't want to mix mellow yellow with that. The poor folk can sample a shot of copper at the Copper Bar for 25 each XD. Ardbeg and Coke. Yes, I did do an Ardbeg and Coke. I did that.
But I tried the Ugadale and Coke. It was not good. Speaking of Ardbeg, you know what I just found last week, J.O., here in Columbus?
What's that?
The last bottle of Ardbeg 23-year-old.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Nah, man. I was okay. So I got the 21, and I reviewed that probably a year or so ago. If you guys want to check that out, just go to my YouTube channel, Mike's Whiskey Review. Billy and I reviewed that one. But I just picked up the 23-year-old. And why I'm really excited about it is the Ardbeg 21 was just bourbon cask matured. And the Ardbeg 23 is bourbon cask matured for 21 or 22 years. And then it was transferred into sherry cask for another year or two for a finishing period. So I'm really hoping it's more similar to a very rich, dense Ugadale as opposed to the 10-year-old, which was very similar to the 21 on a lot of levels.
Now, D2 is also letting me know that there's still some 23 at the party source at $600. More than I ever want to spend, honestly. I don't even want to imagine what my wife would say if I came home with a $600 bottle of whiskey. Now, I also have to ask, this will probably be one of our last questions. What is the most you ever spent on a bottle of whiskey?
Me?
Yeah, we're going to ask that. We're going to ask that of the people in the chat.
All right, man, let me start. I can send you a photo. I don't have the bottle anymore. The most expensive bottle of whiskey is also the only bottle of whiskey I've ever bought and not tried.
Okay.
And we talked about it last week.
Okay, go ahead.
The Laphroaig 40.
Oh, boy.
So that's in a safe deposit box. And you know what? I got so lucky. I was actually entertaining a client at a bar. I did it a few times here locally in Columbus. And a guy was moving to Germany. And he realized I was drinking Scotch at the bar. So he starts telling me he has this Laphroaig 40. And I said to myself, I've never even heard of Laphroaig 40. You know, I got the 25, got the 30, got the 18, the 10, the cask strength. Never heard of a 40. What are you talking about? I didn't believe the guy. And he said they came out with it, I believe, in 2004, if I'm not mistaken. And they're cask strength. So he sent me a few pictures. He said, hey, I'm moving to Germany. And I can get this amount for it if I sell it at auction when I go over to Europe. Do you want to buy it for this? And, you know, being in sales, talked the guy down a little bit. But I ended up getting that bottle for him. That's the bottle I was mentioning to you that have the safe deposit box where someone said last week, do you have it laying down or do you have it standing up? And I said, I would never lay it down. The cork would, you know, dissolve. But that is by far the most expensive bottle of Scotch I've ever bought. And I can't even bring myself to open it up.
Yeah, that would be a hard one for me to open too. For me, it has to be a special occasion. Like years and years ago, I bought my first Sazerac 18. Mm-hmm. And I had a very, very dear and near friend of mine pass away. And to honor him, I popped that bottle and I enjoyed it. And unfortunately, it got drunk because my wife was out of town and I went out with a good friend of mine. And we were full of steaks from Texas Roadhouse and appetizers. And he said, you have a bottle of Saz 18, don't you? I'm like, yeah, I do. Let's go to your house and drink it. I'm like, you know, I'm full of steak and great hanging out with my buddy. I'm like, yeah, let's go drink that bottle. And sure enough, we drank that bottle. So, but to catch up on the chat, Whiskey Quest says $70 for him. Then D2 says $480 for the 20-something Ardbeg 22-year-old, nowhere close to Mike's. Mr. Bill, $129, not the anniversary.
Hold on. Man, okay, so D2, I need that 22-year-old to complete my collection of the 21, 23, and the 22. Do you know anywhere where I could find that close? Let me know.
Okay. I'd open it, but I'd die tomorrow. Okay, says Whiskey Quest. Jack of all trades, wipe sweat for brow. Let's see. I have a rule. If it's in my place, it's open. That's kind of one of my things too. I don't hang on to stuff.
Wait a second. The party source? You have an Ardbeg 22?
Do we? I don't know. Quick, go online and check out. Check online.
Well, down the 23rd, man. If you have that, I'll pick that up along with that black art.
Okay. I don't know if we do, but I'm really curious if we do. Let me see here. For me, probably the most expensive I ever was $180. And that was, I did buy a Pappy 20 a while back. That was like 2 years ago. I spent $180 on, it was one of the Long Row series. I remember buying the Long Row Red about 4 years ago. And at that point, that was the most expensive bottle that I ever purchased. That was about $110.
All right, man. D2 saying you got one.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to get that too when I come down next week.
All right. Well, guys, We got 12 in the chat. We got 10 likes. Thank you so much for hanging with us. We're going to go ahead and we're going to sign out. We went about 12 minutes over. Next week is going to be a little bit earlier. That is because it's just going to be me flying solo. That is because I'm going to be doing an unveiling of a bourbon out in Louisville from the Four Gates. I was invited by one of the owners to come down there, and he said, I just mentioned to him I do this live stream, and he's like, feel free to do it while you're at it, but if you happen to, I'm going to be very busy. I won't have a full chance to talk to the camera. He will talk a little bit about it, so I imagine it's going to be a very short live stream. It might only be 30 minutes, 15, 30, not sure how long, but it is, I'm curious to see, mostly because this is going to be so much fun. But here we go. You can check out their webpage. I'm trying to pull it up here. Let's see here. The Four Gates right there, but I'm going to drop a link real quick. Jacob Downey, how you doing, buddy? Let's see here. The quest continues. All right. And let's see. Check out the Simple Division. All right. So let me see. Give me just a moment, guys. I'm going to post that link for the Four Gates. And so while I'm looking, would you mind talking to these guys for a minute?
Absolutely. So you guys were saying, yeah, the Party Source definitely has that 22-year-old Ardbeg. Man, I really appreciate it, guys. If you guys have tried that one, I would love to hear what you think of it, especially if you've tried the 21 or the 23. Let me know if you can, what do you think the difference is and whatnot, because the 23, like I said, has a sherry cask maturation where the 21 was just all ex-bourbon barrels. I believe the 22 doesn't have any sherry in it. But again, since I don't have the bottle in my hand, I really can't tell you for sure. But I'm really pumped, man. You guys have that down there, J.O. So since I'm going to come down and see you and grab that black art, I will definitely pick up that 22-year-old as well. Good times coming along, my friend.
I'm looking forward to that, man. Let's see here. Here we go. All right. I'm getting the link now. Let me get it to open up.
And you have a good time next week, J.O.
I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be hopefully the first of many. I don't know if that is going to be true or not. But here we go. Here is a link to the Four Gates. Check it out, guys. We hopefully will be carrying it. It's a limited release bourbon finished barrel proof, 11-year-old finished in sherry barrels. Excerpts of the Kelvin Cooperage to produce a new, unique, exciting batch of barrel finished craft American whiskey for bourbon and whiskey connoisseurs. Every batch is unique. Going to get more information on it. Hopefully we will be carrying it at the Party Source. We've put in an order for it. But if nothing else, it's just going to be a fun thing to show up and say, hey, guys, take a look here at this cool item and this distillery.
All right, J.O., 3 quick questions I want to just address before we get out of here.
All right.
Number 1, Mr. Bill, I did get the Ohio Heart of It All Highland Park special release. It was $200. Just to be, I would like to go into greater detail, but I was disappointed for the $200 price tag. Number 2, if you ever get a chance to try that Black Art, man, that Black Art's a great one. Try to get the 4.1 or lower because the other ones have been taken over by the, I can't remember, but the company that took over Brooklotti that bought it. So 4.1 is the last time the original blender is actually going to hit that. And then for the last question I wanted to address, the Ardbeg 22. D2, you said it was a little bit underwhelming at first. I felt the exact same thing about the 21-year-old. That is a whiskey, the Ardbeg 21, that improved greatly when it was open for 3 or 4 months. So don't give up on that 22, man. I understand what you mean by a little bit underwhelming. I was underwhelmed with the 21-year-old and even regretted the purchase initially. After it's been open for a little while, man, I tell you what, it was an incredible whiskey. So much so, I went back and bought another one. That's how I felt about it, that strongly about it. So, again, my friend, give it a little bit of time. Those older Ardbegs really, really need some time to open up. The 23 was a bit of an anomaly, mainly because their sherry cask matured, or at least in my opinion, that's why I think that it is. But again, give us some time. It'll be dynamic. Mr. Bill, it wasn't worth the $200. You're a smarter man than I. Thank you.
All right. That's okay. And now also, before I forget, the week after next, I hope to have Kitty Kennedy on one of these live streams. She is the new joiner of the Party Source Reviews Spirit section. Black hair, incredibly awesome palette. That woman is amazing, and she is going to be hopefully joining in on one of them on the 17th, is it? No, it'd actually be the 24th is when she will be doing it. And I hope to also have another lady by the name of Yetta, Jutta. So that's for the future. Next week is for the Four Gates, and after that, we will be doing with Kitty Kennedy. And yes,
one more thing, my friend. Jack of all blades. Since you're such a good loyal follower here, the Ohio does get a ton of single barrel bourbons. Restaurants can buy barrels. All kinds of other places. It is literally the golden age of single barrel independent release.
Without a doubt. That is something we need to cover in the future. Probably for the next 3 weeks. My schedule is going to be really goofy. So the 17th is going to be the Gates. Okay. The 24th is going to be with Kitty Kennedy.
All right.
The 1st, I'm going to be on vacation. So
well, let's try to get together sometime in May, man. I have the Knob Creek 14-year-old. I have two different versions of a private barrel Knob Creek 14-year-old.
Well, you know, just a shot in the dark. If you're willing to come here, we could do something in Studio 1A as a live stream. We could do it all at once.
You got to tell you what, the 23rd, I'm planning on being down there. As long as that date still works for you, I'll bring that Knob Creek 14-year-old private barrel and a couple of other ones, man. We'll knock a few of those out.
Yeah. So I hope to do a live stream on the 1st, which is going to be a Wednesday night. I will be in Kansas City. I've been reaching out to some of the local distillers out there. Nobody has gone back to me yet. If worst case scenario, I will stop in one of the bars. I will have a cocktail, and I will make sure I hang out with you guys because you guys are awesome. You see 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I don't have any cool catchphrase, any awesome thing to say other than you guys are awesome. Check out Mike's channel. Mike is amazing. Love his channel. Great reviews. Everybody in the chat, I cannot thank you enough. And let's see here.
Well, I tell you what, Jay, I know how to sign off. I sign off every one of my YouTube videos the same way.
What's that?
Happy drinking.
Happy drinking? See, for me, I'm so used to doing the cigar things. Stay smoky is what I've been saying. And with that, drink what you like and like what you drink. Cheers, guys. You are awesome. Be safe. We'll see you next week, probably a few hours earlier. Cheers.